A lot of guys are like, I wish she would initiate more. And so they stop initiating, hoping that she'll initiate more. Well, then she doesn't, because that's just not natural to women. And next thing you know, sex dries up. You being the one that initiates and her feeling like you just can't control yourself because she's so fucking beautiful makes her feel a certain way. And that feeling boosts her senses and makes sex more enjoyable for her. You understand? Read Nancy Friday's book on women's sexual fantasies. Like, women talk about this shit all the time. This is why women like to be dominated in the bedroom, because they like to feel like her beauty is so powerful that you can't even control yourself around her. Right. So women like this feeling of you're just throwing them around the bedroom and stuff. You know, that's why 50 Shades of Grey sold hundreds of millions of copies, because women like that sort of thing. They just can't talk about it because there's this social, stigma against them liking sex. But if you make them feel comfortable with it and make them feel sexy and making them feel desired, they'll want to do it more. You understand? But a lot of you guys have this Madonna-whore complex where you're like, oh, if she enjoys this, now she's a dirty sleut, and I can't be attracted to a dirty sleut, right? The guys have this idea that a wife has to be this pure, like you only have sex for procreation, and it's got to be very vanilla for her, and that's normal because that's what she's a mother. She's going to be the mother of my children. She needs to be this pure person. But you'll watch porn or go bang prostitutes or something like that, where you have this filthy, dirty experience with these slutty sleuts, and you think, if my wife wanted the same thing, well, she's like, she should be out on the street. She's for the streets. It's like, no, man. No, man. Like, she wants to have that experience too. She's just afraid of your judgmental ass, like, thinking badly of her for it. But if you make her feel comfortable and let her know, hey, this is okay for you to be the dirtiest slutty sleut ever. I just want you to be my dirty sleut, right? Rollo talks about this. Every man wants a sleut. He just wants her to be his sleut, right? Well, if you let her know it's okay for her to be your dirty slutty sleut, and let her feel comfortable with it, she's going to do that kind of stuff more, right? She's going to have the porn star sex with you more. She's got to let her know it's okay. All right. Boost confidence. And then the last one we have here, it's going to be a short episode today, but that's cool. We have a story to share. It gives you a story to talk about. Now, I'm not talking about, not necessarily go and brag about it to your buddies, because your girl actually does. She has a reputation, right? She's got a reputation to uphold. You know what I mean? Women are naturally inclined. They're naturally programmed for reputation protection. So if she thinks that by doing all this slutty stuff that you're going to go brag about it to everyone in town, she's not going to want to do it, right? She's going to be like, oh, you're going to tell everyone in town. But if she knows that you're going to typically keep your mouth shut, like if you don't have a podcast like mine, it's cool though. I try to keep Nurse Chick as anonymous as possible. But if she knows that you're going to, keep your guys' sexual escapades to yourself, and that you're going to allow her to be the type of woman that she wants to be, she's more likely to do this stuff with you, right? So when I talk about a story to share, I mean, it's between you two. It's something that you guys can remember and talk about when you're, on a date with each other. You say, hey, remember that time? Remember that time in the Waffle House parking lot? Right? Hey, Nurse Chick, remember that time at the Shell gas station? Anyway, it becomes a playful, intimate memory to cherish. You understand? So that's the last reason. That's number 20 of reasons why to bang your girl in the back of your truck, and how it can help keep your relationship fresh and keep that spark alive. All right. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a short episode, man. Hey, AJ's in the house. Brother AJ, what's good, man? Sex in the back of a truck's good, bro. Guys, smash that like button if you haven't done that already. There should be at least 35 likes on this video right now. And Miles, hey, thanks for watching Rule Zero. Yes, because Nuke says watch Rule Zero hosted by Paul. I did host Rule Zero this last Saturday. And he also says he watches Dragon Ship too. Yes, Dragon Ship, if you guys don't know, I'm a part of two different panel shows. One's Rule Zero. It's old school. Rollo Tomasi and Ryan Stone started that several years ago. That's back, at the split of, when the 21 convention fucking fiasco happened. And there used to be a panel show called the Red Man Group. Well, the split the manosphere into two factions basically at that point. And it became Team 21 Convention and then Team Rule Zero. Well, a couple of years ago, Rollo invited me onto Rule Zero panel. And so I've been on the Rule Zero panel for like going on 2 years now. And it's been 2 years, been 2 full years now. So I do that every Saturday, most of the time. Sometimes I can't because of consultations or traveling or whatever, but I try to be on there most Saturdays. And then RP Thor, who's also on the Rule Zero panel, also has his own show called The Dragon Ship. And that came out of MLD. MLD used to have his own panel show after Rule Zero called The Hot Dude Army. And then MLD stopped doing that. And so he sort of handed the reins over to Thor, and Thor turned that into The Dragon Ship. So we have The Dragon Ship right after Rule Zero. And two different types of panel shows, both dealing with intersexual dynamics, but from two different points of view. You know what I mean? So tune into those on Saturdays, like Saturday morning cartoons. Those are fun to watch. All right. And speaking of tuning into things, do tune into the podcast on Wednesday. We are going to be talking about the financial costs for men who are facing divorce. Okay. Now, there are a couple of ways you guys can look at that episode, right? If you guys are more of the post-divorce red pill mindset, maybe even your MGTOW or whatever, you can look at that episode as reasons why men shouldn't get married and why you shouldn't get the government involved in your relationship. Okay. You can definitely look at it from that perspective. Or if you're already married, all right. So some guys didn't get that memo. No one told them that marriage is a bad deal for men, right? So they went ahead and pulled that trigger. They were running for that white picket fence, and they're already married, and their relationship's in the downturn, and now they're actually facing a divorce situation. Like it's probably going to happen, if not in the next couple of months, either like in the next couple of years, right? So you can look at it as an incentive to try to fix your marriage problems, okay, and avoid those costs. Now, they do say, oh, yeah, it's cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep her. And I'm not saying you should keep your wife if she's generally a shitty wife. You know what I mean? You shouldn't keep her just to save money. But if you love her, if you were in love with her once and the relationship was good at one point and it's just gone downhill, and you know that it's salvageable and you want to salvage it and you would love to keep your family together, then yeah, look at this, at the possible costs here, and use that as motivation to turn things around your relationship. Okay. So tune into that on Wednesday. It'll be pretty fucking eye-opening. There's a guy in Beer Club who was on the podcast a couple of years ago, Brother Nathan. Man, he went through one of the most horrendous divorces I've ever seen. One of the most horrendous custody battles I've ever seen. He's probably spent well over $300,000 fighting for his kids and stuff like that. And that resolved a couple of years ago, but now she's taking him back to court. So it's like the costs always creep up. The cost will always be there for however old your kids are. If you got young kids, those costs can come back at any given time until your kids are 18 or 19, depending on the state. In the state of Colorado, you have to pay child support for your kids until they're 19 years old, right? My daughter aged out in January. She turned 19. And when I went to go ask the child support services, to reevaluate how much I have to pay because she's supposed to age out. So I thought I was going to be paying less. No, they're like, oh no, with inflation, you just keep paying the same amount. So I'm like, I'm paying double for my son now. Yes. Like so I'm not getting out of it. Right. So there's a million reasons to try to fix it. If you love her and you would like to keep your family together, there's so many reasons to put in the work to do it.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.